Hi, this is Barrett Ristroff from Fairbanks, Alaska, and you are watching an excerpt from Roles for Agencies in Climate Change Adaptation for Alaska Native Villages. Please check out my YouTube page for more video clips on this topic. In this video clip, I'll talk about avoiding maladaptations and unintended consequences from adaptation efforts. What exactly is a maladaptation is up to debate. It's often thought of as something that backfires or makes the problem worse in the long term. Not everyone would see the failed Gabion revetment in Shishmaref, shown here, as a maladaptation. Some would see this as buying the island some time. Probably one of the best ways to avoid maladaptations is extensive communication with a community before implementing infrastructure there. Many village residents talked about contractors putting in lower 48 style infrastructure over warnings from locals that it would not work. One village elder told me,
"There have been times in the past where elders told outsiders not to do a project in a certain way because it wouldn't work, but the outsiders didn't listen and the project ended up not working."
As UAF Vice Chancellor Larry Hinsman said,
"It doesn't take that much effort, but you do have to be responsive to local concerns." Using pilot programs before expanding is another strategy. There are already a lot of prototypes out there for more sustainable Arctic infrastructure designed by cold climate housing and others that should move from being prototypes to actual pilot programs with multiple users.
It's really important to have infrastructure that's designed with melting permafrost in mind.
It's also important to have infrastructure that can be moved and fixed by communities themselves.
There's an idea of no regrets strategies that are designed to address climate change but can be useful even if the expected changes don't occur. I think this idea goes well with holistic planning. It's good to have projects with community benefits in multiple areas, not just climate change. Designing housing that is more appropriate for small villages with high shipping costs is important whether or not there's more flooding and erosion. As much as I stress the need for holistic thinking, this has to be balanced with incremental progress. Solutions are not going to happen overnight. Most people, whether they are making laws in Juneau or living in the village, do not necessarily want to see changes overnight. This means that incremental policy change, building on small successes, is more likely to take effect than brand new laws and programs. As one Western Alaska resident said,
"How do you self-motivate? You need to recognize what you can do, even if this is not the best thing, and build on small successes. It helps build self-respect for the community."
A couple more pieces of advice. One from a federal agency liaison.
There will always be unintended consequences. When taking an action with unknown consequences, we need to follow a value system and take actions that benefit the well-being of the community over that of individuals. We will always struggle with problems caused by individual greed. There is always a potential to make huge, expensive mistakes. We have to study our mistakes and talk about them, not penalize people for making mistakes.
And from Sally Russell Cox, the planner with the Alaska Division of Community and Regional Affairs that has been supporting the Newtok relocation.
People in the villages are some of the most resourceful people I've ever met. They make do with very little. They take things apart and put them back together to make things work for them. This becomes more difficult when you have great big systems that require someone to come in from outside to fix. We need to build utility systems that people in communities can fix themselves, not big interconnected systems where one failure will mess up everything.
Thanks to my musicians and participants, and thank you for watching. I hope you'll watch more of these video clips or check out my Google Drive for written strategies.